What's a secret you'll never tell your partner but are willing to tell strangers on Reddit? That she is far more similar to her mother and sisters than she would want to believe. Who wants to admit they ate 9 cans of ravioli? I mean, nobody wants to admit they ate 9 cans of ravioli. But I did. I'm ashamed of myself. The first can doesn't count. Then you get to the second and third. Fourth and fifth I think I burnt with the blowtorch. And then I just kept eating. I shit my pants 2 days ago. The wholesome answer? That our youngest son's first word wasn't mama. She was having a busy time at work and already felt guilty about not being home as much. Naturally he spent most time with me, so his first word was papa. I kept my mouth shut and waited until he said mama and celebrated that as his first word. That I know the word she's looking for. But it's more fun to hear her rattle off increasingly ridiculous, sometimes made up words instead. Wholesome Reddit is always a nice surprise. My best friend is a badger and I feed him sweet corn every morning at 5:20 am. Edit. While this really blew up, me and my badger friend Lucius appreciate all the support. This you need to tell your partner in order to avoid a Shakespearean level tragedy. I called pest control honey. Took care of it. I faked the first 6 orgasms with her. I just wasn't going to come due to anxiety, but I knew she'd be so self-conscious to the point of dumping me if I didn't. So I pulled out and came in a towel or sock. Eventually I got there with her after the nerves calmed, but him taking that secret to the fucking grave, LMAO. Edit. One time I even prepped a towel by squirting some lotion in it and showed her how much he made me cum because I'm a liar and a freak. Babe, why does your cum smell like cocoa butter? I got our toddler out of bed one morning and went to do a sniff test of their butt to see if they had pulled overnight, and when I lifted my child up I stuck their head in the ceiling fan. Oh, and the time I forgot to put the car in park with them in it. I can't remember the last time I was genuinely happy more than just an in the moment feeling due to something happening. My default emotion is just depressed tired. You shouldn't have to keep that kind of thing hidden. There obviously is a point of oversharing burdening, but your partner should know about your general feelings so they can better support you. I feel the same way, and I only managed to start seeking real help cause my partner knew and helped me to remember and set up appointments etc. What I actually paid for my woodworking tools. Edit. Obligatory ripping box. As a few have pointed out, this absolutely applies to pretty much any hobby. And I'll put it here since so many are asking. But I don't actually keep track of how much I've spent over the years, but just the big expensive ones I remember I'm over 5k already. Then all the smaller tools, chisels, hand planes, and ultimately I should include the cost of running a 220 volt single phase outlet for my jointer, and more than I really want to admit to myself. But the joy and sense of accomplishment I get on the completed pieces are worth every penny spent. It really is my happy place. As a guitarist, my biggest fear is that after I die, my wife will sell my guitars for what I told her I paid for them. Edit. I feel like I should probably state, for the record, that this is a long-standing joke in the musician community. My wife actually bought me 2 of my guitars. She knows how much they're worth. Lol. My nieces don't like the aquarium. I just constantly took them there because I thought my now girlfriend, who works there, was pretty and thought if she saw me constantly taking them it had led to us talking. Good call. Probably shouldn't tell your wife about your aquarium girlfriend. The iron bar in the garage isn't a pry bar. It's a manhole cover remover, and I have explored and will explore more. I work in those often. Without a gas monitor and fan to blow them out for 30+ mins before going in. Stop. Some of the gas in manholes are deadly in minutes. Deleted. He knows. Using my alt because she follows my main account. My girlfriend of 5 years has been deaf since she was 6. She reads lips pretty well, but prefers sign language. I didn't know a single sign when I met her, but I could tell right away there was something between us, so I started learning after I got home from our first date. Fast forward a few years. I'm now fluent in ASL and we use it to talk almost exclusively. When she's not looking though, I talk to her even though she can't hear me or see my lips to read. I tell her how much I love her, how I'm going to marry her someday, how beautiful she is, etc. I've even been practicing proposing, so it's not so terrifying when I actually do it. She has no idea and I plan to keep it that way. Now I got to the entire thread looking for a woman that has regained her hearing after being deaf since 6 and doesn't want to tell anyone. I am terrified that my partner will die because I know I am not really a functional adult outside of my work. I am good for playing with the kids, bringing in a decent income and making food. But the idea of single parenting and taking care of everything fills me with existential dread I have a hard time describing. Obligatory edit. Thank you all for the support and kind comments. I never expected my top comment ever would be about how I worry for the future because I feel like 3 raccoons in a trench coat instead of a human adult. If you feel the same way, just know you aren't alone. Is it the thought of losing your partner and the resulting grief, or the thought of having to function and do mundane tasks day after day that scares you? I probably didn't word this the best way possible, but I think you'll understand what I mean. Our cat didn't break the towel rack. I did. I was pretending to be fighting zombies and grabbed it and ripped the goddamn thing off the wall. I heard her coming to check out the noise and looked down at my cat. She came into the bathroom to me asking my cat, "Why did you think the towel rack could hold your weight? You silly cat." I think it's totally reasonable to be pretending to be fighting zombies. But maybe you got a little too immersed in said fighting. Know me but my friend. So his wife was really sick but was also extremely stubborn and religious. She believed that God will heal her. So he came to me and asked for a few of my sleeping pills. They're really strong and get you into a deep sleep quickly. So puts the pills in her drink. Like clockwork, in 30 minutes she's out cold. He then asks me to help him get her to hospital. Next morning she wakes up in the hospital. Good thing too, course on top of that sickness she had. She had stage 1 cancer. She survived and it's all good now. But he made me swear I don't tell her what we did. What did you guys tell her when she woke up about why she's in the hospital? Sometimes when we play Unrequited, I pretend to fail at the end so she can win. I love my wife, but I would never sandbag Mario Kart. If she wants to win, she has to earn it. If not for my partner and my family, I would have killed myself a long time ago. They are literally what I'll live for. And I can't tell them that because they would worry about me so much. Edit. I am not actively suicidal. And I will not harm myself in the foreseeable future. I pissed myself on accident trying to not be a 2-trip bitch running my groceries up to my apartment. You avoided being a 2-trip bitch by becoming a pissy bitch. At least you ain't no punk bitch. My husband loves talkative cats. When we first got our kittens, I gave them a treat every time they made a meow or chirp. Since I was working from home, they ended up becoming very vocal. He still goes on about how lucky we are to have such talkative cats on a weekly basis. You deserve credit for this. Deleted. I have been molested 4 times by 4 different old guys. And I am male. I'm so sorry. That sounds very upsetting. I hope you've been able to heal from your experiences or are on that path. My wife and I lost our future baby to a miscarriage. She once told me it felt like the universe was telling her I shouldn't be a dad. 2 hearts stopped beating that day and I haven't told her how depressed I still am. Edit. I planted some roses in our garden in memory. I visit them every day. First, I am so sorry for your loss. Second, that is just an awful, horrible thing to say to anyone, let alone someone you claim to love. I am so sorry that you had to hear that. I dropped the diaper rash cream container on our daughter's head when she was like 8 days old. She let out this scream that still haunts me. When he came in the room to see what happened, I lied and said I just dropped the lid on her. How big was this container? Toothpaste tube size? Quart? Gallon? That's as much as I love him. With all my heart and soul. Even after a decade of being together. His relentless negativity and pessimism does my head in sometimes. My wife shit while delivering our son. Something she was terrified she would do. The nurse cleaned up very quickly and gave me a look that needed no explanation. I never said a word. She talked after delivery about how happy she was that didn't happen to her. I'll let her keep that peace of mind for life. I'm pretty sure every woman does that when they give birth and we just lie about it to make them feel good. Sometimes I just sit in my car outside work or our apartment for 20 to 30 minutes because I need some time alone. I have my mind full to the brim at work and rarely get time in the house alone. Sometimes I just need it to be quiet and not have to pay attention to anything. The reason I wasn't hungry that one day in Dublin was because when I stayed behind to get ready while she waited in the lobby, I ate the entire box of leftover chicken wings that we took home from the restaurant the day before. I ate 15 cold, oily chicken wings in about 5 minutes at 9 AM before heading out for breakfast. Her cooking isn't very nice. I'm not cooking because I try to be nice. I cook because I want to eat something that doesn't taste like I'm ramming a feral raccoon with explosive diarrhea. Sorry honey, but you might need to learn how to cook if you want to cook. Cooking classes are a fun activity. Maybe hint to one of her friends to get her interested in going together, or you go with her. I know someone who vastly improved her cooking after taking a course with a friend. Some people are naturally awful cooks and have terrible instincts in that regard that need to be unlearned. It's not that I'd never tell her, it's that I don't think we're at the part of the relationship where I can tell her just yet. But I love her. That I found the man who was speaking improperly to our very young daughter and made sure it wouldn't happen again. Deleted. I love her food, but I always feel bad when she's cooking for me. What if she loves cooking for you? Like, genuinely enjoys it? I've broken your personalized cup your sister got you 3 times. I recreated the design on paint and got some screen printing stall at the mall to print it on the cup. Each time it looks a little bit different, face with tears of joy. I mean, after the second time you just need to save the design, my guy. I worked as a muscle guy in my early 20s and made a chunk of money getting good at hurting people. She's a pretty anti-violence Buddhist, so I'm not gonna bring that up lol. What is a muscle guy? I just googled what is a muscle guy and the results are unclear. That my wife always screams. She just doesn't seem to be able to talk at a normal level. Feel like she should be selling fish at a marketplace. Love her though. That I actually prefer creamy peanut butter. I buy the extra crunchy because that's what he likes. Why not buy both? My parent thinks he's gay. Son, I think your partner is weird. He's probably gay. Every time we're playing Yahtzee and she asks, do I have one more roll or was that 3, I always say one more regardless of the truth. I wasn't asleep yet and saw her reading the reply messages to those guys on Craigslist. What guys on Craigslist? 15 years ago I had a new medication that did not mix well with alcohol. I had a party with friends. We decided to go out in town. Next thing I remember, I woke up in a cell at the police station stripped down to my undies. It turned out I took a taxi. Instead of going home I went to my mother's street. Apparently I was lucid enough to remember her street, but not her house, and ended up in her neighbor's backyard doing enough noise to wake him up. In the end I got a $400 sign-ish fine and a tremendous amount of shame. Sometimes I'm not 100% sure she's the one. It hurts because she seems so sure all the time, but I think it's normal to have fluctuations in feelings. For me anyways. You know how some people can be content with life and others are always looking to improve? So the latter category tends to be people who climb career ladders, not get complacent in life, etc etc. If you're that type of person, the downside is you will always have doubts about your partner no matter how perfect they are or in love you are. Source: my therapist told me this is something I do. Edit: did not expect this comment to hit such a chord with many people. If any of you want to talk about it further, feel free to PM me. Not sure how much help I can be, but I at least understand the pain it can cause. Deleted. This was so kind. You're a good person for doing this. When I play video games and my wife isn't here, I narrate what I do and respond to fake questions from a non-existent chat like I'm some kind of big shot streamer. I even look at a fake camera when something happened lol. I love that you look at the fake camera. The knives from Costco stay sharp because I sharpened them, not because they never need to be sharpened, to be fair. And to answer the why wouldn't you tell her, she knows. But it was a quip, by which I mean not an argument that we sort of had. I hate that he doesn't want to go anywhere, ever. Everything is always a chore or he dreads it. I want to go on hikes, random car rides, a damn picnic, just get out of the house with him. Just him. I want to go on dates. I'm growing very tired of this lifestyle. Edit: I didn't expect this to blow up. As many said, it could very well be depression, money management and health reasons. I've decided after reading a lot of the comments that I will have a serious talk with him. Besides that, we will have to look into him finding a therapist and hopefully he will become social again. I know there's a lot of factors to his introvertedness. Unfortunately that's why me and my ex broke up. We were good together in every other way. He just does not want to do anything but sit in front of the PC playing video games and smoking 24/7. Hates traveling. Hates being in the car. We are still good friends, but I am now dating someone else and we love road trips, hiking, exploring, etc. Life feels fun again. My husband is too light-hearted during sex and it is a total turn off. Like he will say boobies or slap my ass and thinks it's funny. And like, I just want to be ravaged, and whenever he does these things, I get dry as a bone downstairs. IDK how to bring this up without being an ass. This sounds like my husband. I recently told him I'd like him to talk dirty to me. He looked at me, gears spinning, and came out with, pussy, pussy, and that was it because I burst out laughing till my sides hurt. I drink her fancy olive oil right out of the bottle when she's not home. Deleted. Yep, fuck you Shayla, reversed hand with middle finger extended. My husband complains about being in pain so much that I feel like there's no room for me to be in pain. And sometimes I really resent that. I have a chronic health condition that I have no choice but to manage well because he wouldn't know what to do if he had to care for me like I have to care for him. Sucks, but it is what it is. Eater, sorry to hear this is so common. My partner is otherwise lovely and I've told him before. No need to beat a dead horse. To me it's a small part of a big and full relationship. So it's just something I live with. I don't know why I can't tell her, but lately, 3 years of marriage and a 9-month-old, I am more attracted to her than ever. It becomes distracting as I think about it all day sometimes. I think I'm embarrassed that it used to be a more average attraction and now it is in overdrive. Been this way for months. I know it probably sounds silly, but IDK it just feels like I became a different person recently. Becoming like Gomez Adams towards your wife is a good thing. I've become more attracted to my wife over the years and it has been nothing but a benefit. I've never been a playboy and got incredibly lucky that she ever even spoke to me in the first place. She thinks I'm this smooth talking experienced ladies man. She has no idea she's the first girl to fall for my amazing pickup line. Do you have a boyfriend? To her it's impossible to imagine I wasn't some wild dog humping the I-95 until she reined me in. Edit. WTF did I wake up to? I love her to bits and will never cheat on her, but I don't like having sex with her anymore and I fake my orgasms. Why don't you like sex with her? Many years ago, a friend, F, and I, M, fucked. During it, she tried to stick her finger in my ass. I don't like that, so I didn't let her. Time passed. She met a man and married him. We are still friends. Occasionally we have drinks and eats together. Every time I see the guy, I think there goes a dude who likes a finger up his ass. I make fuck you money and every day I feel like a fraud. I Google half the shit I do and in large part I wing my job. Everyone thinks I'm so confident and know what I'm doing. I'm drowning and feeling like any moment they'll find out I'm faking my way to success. I've been doing my job for 5 years and I've done a good job. Can't shake the feeling that I'm a fraud. Dude, IDK how to tell you you're just good at your job. You're able to think on your feet and adapt. Great skills which are probably a huge reason others think you're so good confident at your job. Everyone Googles shit for their job. This isn't like high school where you need to have every skill memorized for the test at the end of the week. Also, I'm sure you've already heard of it, but if you haven't, look into imposter syndrome. A therapist can help you a ton with these feelings of secretly being a fraud. Last night you made fried rice with shrimp. I ate the whole bowl even though it tasted nasty. God, it was awful. When I was a child I pissed in a bucket, threw it on my trampoline and told my friend to go play on it. Why? I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease about 5 years ago. I decided at that point I would never get married or have kids as the prognosis was not good. I isolated myself. It was a very lonely existence. Then we met about 2 years ago. Life has been sweet ever since. The disease is hitting its stride now. It is getting harder and harder for me to do things. I grin and bear it because I want these remaining years to be stress-free and happy. As someone who has chronic pain and is doing the same isolation due to that, and a bunch of other reasons, mainly childhood traumas, abandonment issues, your post gives me hope. Best of luck to you and in your relationship, friend. Blue heart. When I asked her dad for his blessing I had some liquid courage first and I can't remember what his response was. Let's hope it was yes because we've been married for over 2 years. When I asked my future Phil for permission, I went to his house and knocked on the front door. And he kept not coming to the door. I knew they were home and kept knocking. When he came to the door, I asked if I could come in and he asked what I wanted. I showed him the ring and asked him through the screen door. That's when his whole persona changed. He hadn't recognized me after 3 and 1/2 years initially, and thought I was the local church people going door to door. When it all finally clicked, he welcomed me in, but it's still a funny story that he purposely didn't answer for a few minutes because he thought I was LDS door to door church person. Edit. Spelling and grammar. Nice try, honey. You have to get up pretty early in the morning to put one over on a new scene. Deleted. This shit right here is the type of unrequited bitterness I popped this thread open for. Fuck yeah. When my girlfriend and I go out to eat at a restaurant, they will sometimes let us order food through our phones at the table. I'll insist on ordering because it lets me write in their special instructions box where I request if they could compliment her outfit. Honestly, I think I get just as much enjoyment seeing her reaction. I can never let her know. This is brilliant, dude. That time I asked you if I could have the last cookie. I implied there was only one left when there was actually 2. I wanted both of them and didn't want to share. They were delicious and I have no regrets. I had a secret and posted it one time on Reddit. Then my fiance found it, and now we've since split up. Remember, use an alt account just in case. She wasn't a tech savvy person or even knew what Reddit was, so it was surprising when I was confronted. Don't assume just because they don't know about these things that they won't ever find it. My first Reddit account, which would be forever years old at this point, was found by my estranged sister because I wrote about why we no longer were in communication. And her friend read it, recognized it, and told her, which is strange because it really painted my sister in a bad light. Then my brother called me and told me she was going through my complete Reddit history, so I just deleted the entire account. Rip you squanchy. You'd be like 16 by now. Since January of 2020 I've been working an assignment at my job, law enforcement. Not an officer, with Sexual Assault Investigations Unit, SAU. Normally I'm with my department's records unit, but in 2020 I applied for an opening with my department's SAU. My girlfriend is aware of that, but so long as it's up to me, I will never tell her about any of the cases that have come through the unit. Edit. Tried to clear up the job description. Good call there. As a therapist who works with survivors, please make sure you have an outside therapist and you're using that therapist weekly. Pay out of pocket if you have to keep it from insurance if you're worried about your job. Vicarious trauma can lead to burnout, also PTSD, and you need somewhere to process it and work through it. Also look into the book Trauma Stewardship. Kenneberg and Laura van der Lipsky. I know you're not a therapist, but it will help with managing some of the vicarious trauma. My wife hates her dad more than anything. We haven't talked to him much after he refused to come to our wedding 2 years ago since he thinks she could do better than me. She is like him in so many ways. I would never have the heart to tell her. This is sad because I am like my dad a lot, even though I hate so much of what he does. And unfortunately we pick this stuff up from our parents. My behaviors ended my previous relationship and it's truly awful to think of the impact. That I resent her for forgetting my birthday 2 years in a row. I think that would actually break my heart. Just one simple sentence to acknowledge your birthday, but nothing? Deleted. I write fan fiction and am a prolific writer for one specific fandom. I don't write smut or even really romance, but I do engage in other very dark topics that I feel like my I hate reading boyfriend would probably give me side eye if he knew. For one specific fandom. Looks at username. Is it Atla? I don't really feel anything during sex anymore. My wife's makeup looked terrible on our wedding day. Bury that one, my dude. It was an accident we met. I thought I was agreeing to see his friend. Who was the other guy in the picture? Our baby boy fell off our bed whilst I was watching him. She heard the noise and then heard the baby crying. I made up some bullshit story that it was something else that had fell over and the noise scared him. I don't really know why I didn't just tell her. I felt so guilty and still do sometimes. Still never gonna tell her though. Babies fall off beds all the time. No need to be guilty. That I wish she would find a career or pursue a degree so I don't have to work 1,000+ hours of a year so she can sit at home. Tell her that, show her financials. Tell her it's draining so much out of you that you're burnt out. And if nothing changes, time to dip. You deserve someone who values your time. It's been 4 years and I'm still super annoyed that he can't remember that one dream he had one night that caused him to laugh his ass off in his sleep. I want to know the funny. I think I might have killed a man. Bro. I have ridiculously complex and drawn out arguments with myself when no one's around. One of them is pretty cool. The other one is kind of a dick. Edit, just to add. I'm not sure which one is the real me. My partner has zero sex drive and it's killing me. She just doesn't seem to ever want it, and on the extremely rare occasion she does, 3 or 4 times a year, I get performance anxiety. I get quite a lot of flirtatious attention from women, and the idea that other women find me attractive confuses me as to why she doesn't want to have sex with me. Other than that, we have a very happy relationship. She just doesn't care about sex. I know that like, asexuality and stuff is a thing. But there's a difference between having no libido and not being interested in sex. Maybe she's got hormonal issues. I don't think you're the problem. See, I'm on the pill and honestly my body doesn't always collaborate and it affects a lot. She's an ex now, but she pretended to speak in Spanish sometimes, and I know it's all bullshit because a friend that actually speaks the language was like, what, and she just kept going. Everyone around her was the problem. AKA she was 100% the problem. I just overlooked it for years. My fiance is currently going through chemis, half paid by a program, other half by me, and told her not to worry about the payments. Already went through one set of savings due to company cutting HRS, getting ready for global recession. I'm depressed and have anxiety attacks just thinking that if things don't get better soon, I won't have the money for her treatments or enough money to get bills paid on time. Edit. Original health insurance didn't cover anything. We tried getting a private insurance but no one will take her due to pre-existing health issues. If anyone can help me find grants or a better program, PM me. I've tried a couple places programs without luck. I really care about her health but it's killing me financially. Call the drug company specifically. Companies like Abbott, for example, and other have assistant programs that are not based on income. Source, we use one. Whenever she's not home, I let the dog onto the bed and take a really comfy nap. I set an alarm for an hour and kick the dog off and clean the fur off before she ever gets home. I've been doing this for nearly 3 years now. That one time I farted on you while in bed and pretended I was asleep and you coughed. It wasn't night terrors that caused me to jump up out of bed a few seconds later. I was trying not to cry laughing. My partner doesn't know how bad my mental health really is. She knows I've reached out for support but doesn't know the extent of help I'm seeking. I just can't bring myself to say those words to her. That our daughter took her first steps 2 weeks before he saw her walk. But I kept it quiet until she walked while his parents were over. They were so excited they saw her first steps. Working 3 jobs to support him and his lifestyle and the kids. He thinks I'm working 1. But he lost his entire family in the past 3 years and his grief is breaking him. So I don't mind working this much if it means he can't take a break and work on his mental health. I love him. I'd do anything for him. I am not sure if I want to be with her. There's lack of romance. I don't really know how to talk to her sometimes. Her vision of our relationship doesn't really match mine. She's sweet most of the time, but sometimes when we are somewhere with other people she seems so distant. It's strange. One day I am head over heels. The next I am not so sure about it. Life's hard. Emotions are hard. I will listen to a song 10 times in a row because I need to listen to all the instruments and melodies separately before moving on to the next song. Her actions and her words are 2 different worlds. She says she wants something while she is doing the exact opposite. It's her business up to here. The problem is that she's putting a lot of pressure on me because of her words and actions. This part is my problem and have to solve it. I need to stop worrying about her and just mind my own business. That I am the one placing the googly eyes on everything in our house, not our 6-year-old. I don't believe so many people cared about me. I have never been loved this much and by this many people. Love you all. And thank you for each and every advice. Sometimes I want to just leave him with the kids for weeks and see if they'd survive.